Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuhuvanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. In the Vedic literatures, there are two terms mentioned, Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyas means long-term welfare. Preyas means short-term welfare. Like for example, a small boy, he wants to play all day long. He doesn't want to sit and study. But the parents tell him, dear child, enough of your play, come back, sit down and do your homework, do your studies, then you'll have a bright career in future. But the boy is naughty. He says, no mama, no papa, please leave me. I just want to play fun. Leave me alone. So a child doesn't understand Shreyas, he only knows Preyas. He wants to enjoy immediate pleasure because he cannot see what is to be done, what are his duties to be done to have a bright future. In the same manner, the human beings in this world also simply want to eat, drink and be merry and have fun, especially in adolescent age, when they come to college, watch movies, drink, smoke, enjoy with girls. In this way, people spend their life in playing and enjoying without asking what is the meaning of life, goal of life, purpose of life, what is right, what is wrong. They don't ask these questions. So Shreyas means to think about the long-term welfare. You see, Yat Shreyasya Nishchitam Bruhi Tanme Shishyaste Ham Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam. Arjuna told Krishna, Krishna, please enlighten me about what will bring about long-term welfare for me. In Stanford University, they conducted a research with a few children. So a teacher came to a classroom and said, all of you will get a toffee now. I'll give you one each. But if you are willing to wait till I go to the other classes and then return back, then you will get 2 toffees. How many of you are ready to wait? She asked. Most of the children said, we want to eat right away now. She said, okay, go ahead. And some 20% of the children, 20-25% of the children said, we want to wait for one more toffee. So she went to the other class. In the meantime, these children were eating and those children tolerated because they knew that if we wait for some time, we will get one more. The teacher went and came after half an hour and sure enough, she gave them 2 toffees. And Stanford University continued the research with these children. In the subsequent years, when these children became teenagers and in their adolescence, those children who could not control their senses and they wanted to eat immediately, when they came to their adolescent age, they became uncontrolled in their behavior. They became unruly in terms of their speaking and acting and indulging in activities that caused trouble to others. Whereas those children who restrained themselves and waited for the second toffee, 2 toffees to come, those children were self-controlled, calm, cool, collected in their adolescent age. So, in this way, if you know something is right, something is wrong, this is to be done, this is not to be done, we need willpower to restrain ourselves from doing the wrong thing and to stick to the right thing. So when we talk about Shreyas, long-term happiness, we don't mean that we have to deprive ourselves of the happiness. As devotees of God, we can also enjoy, but we want to enjoy enlightened enjoyment, not foolish enjoyment. Imagine if I give you a bamboo in one hand and sugarcane on the other. Which one will give you true enjoyment? Although both of them look alike. You want bamboo pleasure or you want sugarcane pleasure? Spiritual pleasure is like sugarcane pleasure. And the bodily pleasures, material bodily pleasures is like bamboo pleasure. So the whole world is running after bamboo pleasure because bamboo is free. It's lying here and there. You try to bite it, we will only have bleeding in the mouth. Whereas sugarcane, you have to pay some price. But if you pay the price, you can enjoy sugarcane juice. That is spiritual life all about. There is a very interesting story in our Upanishads. There was once a king called as Vajasravas. He had a son named Nachiketas. And one day, this Vajasravas, he was giving away charity to many people. Hundreds of people were queuing up and accepting dhan from him, charity from him. So Nachiketas was watching. So he told his father, "Oh father, you are giving in charity cows that are too weak to stand, that are too skinny. And how do you give them in charity? How will somebody benefit by having this cow which cannot even give any milk and which can't even stand properly?" So he was a talkative boy, and the father became a little upset. And Nachiketas asked his father, "Father, you are giving so many things in charity. Will you give away me also in charity?" And the father said, "Yes, I will give you away in charity to Yamaraj," he said. And sure enough, when he said that word, in the queue, two Yamadutas came and stood. And they came, when their turn came, they said, "My dear king, you promised to give your son in charity to Yamaraj. We have come on his behalf. Give your son." When they asked like this, the king felt very sad. Alas, I have to keep my word. I can't go back. So he handed over his son Nachiketas to them. And Nachiketas was taken to heaven and taken to Yamaloka. And there for 3 days Yamaraj didn't come. And after 3 days when Yamaraj appeared there, he told Nachiketas, "Since I have kept you waiting for 3 days, Nachiketas, I am sorry. I would like to offer you 3 boons. What do you want? Tell me." Nachiketas smiled. He said, "My very first boon I want is that kindly send me back to my father and make my father forget whatever happened so he won't be upset with me." And Yamaraj said, "You are an intelligent boy. Then I will do it." "Okay, what other boon you want?" Second boon, Nachiketas asked, "Please tell me how to perform yajna to go to heaven. I have heard that many people do this yajnas and they go to heaven which is free from thirst and sorrow." And Yamaraj taught him how to go to Swarga by performing a yajna. And the third boon, Nachiketas said, "My dear Yama, I am very curious to know about the region beyond birth and death, beyond this material universe. I have heard that many great Mahatmas' souls go beyond this world to some region. I want to know more about it. Can you please tell me?" And Yamaraj said, "Nachiketas, you have asked me a very difficult question. Even the demigods of the yore, even they do not have answers to such a question like this. I will give you horses, elephants, chariots, fair maiden. I will give you vast lands to rule. I will give you many, many sons and daughters, and you can become king of earth and rule for many, many long years and lead a happy life. But please ask me for any such boon. Ask me for any boon in this world of mortals, however hard to obtain. I can provide you, Nachiketas. But ask me not for this boon which you asked me now, the knowledge of beyond birth and death." And Nachiketas said, he thought for a while and he said, "Oh Yama, all these pleasures that you told now, they all pass away one by one. And when we become very old and invalid, what is the use of all these pleasures? Can an old man enjoy eating? Can a very old man enjoy sex life? All our senses become weak as we become old. And with you in sight, who can enjoy this world? Anytime we will be struck down by death. All these benedictions that you are giving me are useless. I only want to ask you the same boon. Please tell me what is beyond birth and death. What is that region of immortality beyond this world? I want to know that. And by the way, Yama, you are Lord of Death. Who can be a teacher better than you to teach me this? Please teach me this." And Yama said, "My dear boy, you are determined to know this ultimate truth. Since you are very sincere to know the Shreyas, long-term welfare, now I will teach you." So he made Nachiketas sit down and he told him, There are two paths. One is the path of Indriya Tarpan, sense gratification. Another one is the path of everlasting bliss. Those people who are foolish in this world, they go on the path of Indriya Tarpan or sense gratification, and they find no end. They try to do eat, drink and be merry. Their sufferings find no end. Birth after birth after birth, they keep suffering. Whereas those who walk on the path of bliss, they enter into Vaikuntha, beyond this world, where Purushottama or the Supreme Lord is the Master. When they reach that eternal world, they lead a life of everlasting happiness. And Nachiketas, I will tell you more about that path. This body is like a chariot, and the five senses are like five horses. The mind is like the ropes, and the driver is like the intelligence, and the Atma is the passenger. Understand this analogy and learn to control your mind and senses with your superior intelligence, and in this way attain that Shreyas and go back home, back to Godhead, and become happy forever, he said. Thus, in this way, there is Preyas and Shreyas. If I show you a 500 rupee note and I show you one chocolate, which one will you choose out of the two? If you take a chocolate to immediately put it in the tongue and enjoy it, that is Preyas. But if you take the 500 rupee note, you are smart, because inside 500 rupee note there is 500 chocolates. Similarly, those people who control their mind and senses, lead a pure life, following the good instructions of God given in scriptures, and chanting the holy name to purify their heart, very soon they will attain the kingdom of God, where they will be happy forever. And it is very easy process in this age is to chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much.